LK15. Choose your favorite song, 1 through 100. Today is July 21st, Thursday. Pink Shorts is filmed in front of a live democracy, republic, both expose and approve. Thank you for writing MRail, the new safety video. This is Auditory Nerve, Audio Jack 3.5, minimum age to be president. This is Auditorium Station, a CBIS iPhone. The us of my client's medulla, my primary motor cortex, my primary visual, my primary auditory, my arcuate fasciculus, my hippocampus, my vertical, my BRCA, my angular gyrus, or any other part of the left or right hemisphere of the brain is in agreement. Discretion of all kinds of obtain will be used at all television networks and Merriweather businesses. Contact us at 594-1443. Two-party consent law. We have a right-hand shot. Two-party consent law. Two record eavesdrop on any confidential communications, including a private conversation, telephone call, without the consent of all parties to the conversation, is a violation of Section Code Penal Code 632. Please recognize statute of limitations do not apply. We are in scandal. We'll explain that within the next 40 minutes. Intrusion claims in California last for 2 years. Civil Code Section 33.5.1, January 18th, 3:34 a.m., June 19th at 10 p.m. shows that our patented CBIS iPhone, due to time constraints, we are going right into our program. We have an interview with Steve Jobs about the Audio Jack Input 3.5, minimum age to be president, 3.55 a month for your Chevrolet Malibu. I'm very excited to do today's show. I'm savvy from head to toe. I did everything you wanted me to do. Audio experience, 11 song, motivational speaker, richest man in America, universe, world, galaxy. Send me some, paint the short way. I saved everything you needed. Highest paid singer in the world, tweet us via earlier late, FRESH _ JORDANZ every 20 minutes of the hour. Hashtag favorite song from your favorite hip hop song. Today's show is sponsored by MerriweatherA.Law Inc., America's first singing attorney. We make the law sound wonderful the way it should have been. Besides everything, we have Steve Jobs already. Video in motion. Hello.
Do you imagine it being more flexible? Do you see yourself putting out a...
Hello, Steve. It's Geico.
We don't have the technology.
Sounding nicely.
And it's not on the horizon.
Anytime.
Well, horizon implies a
right.
finite amount of time.
Right. So, but do you ever...
Today's Thursday, July 21st.
What are the technical...
I'm V Siri.
I'm not an expert in what it takes to make flexible displays, but a lot of people have tried. A lot of people are trying.
Close the doors. Seatbelt.
Flexible, printable displays.
The music will sync into the sound system.
Many years away.
Can I talk to you about a somewhat different subject, which is curation?
The temperature's on 67 degrees.
As Rupert said in his opening talk, there's been some blurring, some technology.
In a 2017 luxury from me to a you. You can roll your windows up. You can roll your windows down. You can ride with us
a lot of content
to get the finer things in life.
Of apps as well. And there's been a lot of, there are these controversies that flare up periodically about your app store.
Or what was that receipt about? That receipt. You were shopping somewhere. What were you shopping? Well, let's ask Steve Jobs where we were shopping.
I don't know of any law that says that any merchant, whether it's you or Walmart or CVS,
yes, Mr. Mossberg, it was.
Carry anything.
It was Walmart.
But isn't there, as you become
popular, is that where we can pick up our new iPhone 7 Plus Pro?
Market cap, which is kind of a symbol of that, let's say. And you're selling every 3 seconds an iPad. There's responsibility along with that, as you have
That is
pointed
where
out.
we got our iPod,
Big,
correct?
Unlike Walmart, then what?
CVS, they're big, you know. Okay, I'm like, all right, but you become big. So
We love
you've got
Walmart
the most apps.
very
My
much.
question to you is, you've talked in
We
some
love our first
things you've
iPad
written about
product.
the
MB series.
responsibility to protect your consumers from malware and from
But the name on the
warning and stuff
receipt
like
was
that.
just
But is there a downside of you guys? Here's
Good
acquiring
Lord.
employment. Is there a downside of you guys acquiring all this power
Good
and saying
Lord.
no to some political cartoonist or no to some political
What
candidate?
was that about?
And also doing it in a black box that at least a lot of people on the outside have trouble understanding what the rules are.
Mhm.
So don't you have a problem there?
Well, let me tell you, first of all, we have two platforms we support.
We have two pastors in
One
Walmart.
is completely open and uncontrolled.
Malcolm
That's
X
HTML5.
and Martin Luther King.
HTML5 is a set of standards set
Hallelujah.
by independent standards
Good
organizations
Lord.
widely respected. So HTML5, CSS,
Good paddock. Chevrolet. Good iPad.
stuff like that.
JavaScript.
JavaScript would be a third one.
Because of who we are.
So we support HTML5.
We're
We have the
Italian.
best support for HTML5
We're
in any country in
Italiano.
the world in our browsers. And
We
so
all
I think
jive.
we support this very completely open, uncontrolled,
Complexly. Thank you, Mr. Jobs.
standards-based. We then support a curated platform, which is the App Store,
We don't
which has over
know.
200,000 apps in it. It's the most vital
MB
applications
series.
community on any platform in the world today.
I'm the only employee that knows.
So how do we curate this?
Well,
It's a bunch of people
we're an
Just like
X-Time
you.
Water employee. What does that
coming into
make
work
us?
and doing their best every day.
The
And we've got a few
Smithsonian.
rules. Some of the rules are the app has to
Oxygen.
function as advertised. It has to do what the
HSN.
developer advertises it's going to do.
HSBC.
Can't crash. Cannot use unsupported APIs because if a bunch of customers buy
That's
the app,
correct. We're
upgrade the
American
OS,
Airlines.
and they're using unsupported APIs that break, then the apps will break, and we'll have a whole bunch of unhappy customers. So they can't use they have to
How
use
can we
public
help you,
APIs only.
Mr. Jobs?
And those turn out to be the three biggest reasons we reject apps, is for those three things. But we
Jane,
approve 95%
what
of
do you
the
want
apps
us to
that are submitted
wave?
every week, which is
Every day
many,
of
many,
Pink
many, many
Shorts.
thousands every week. We
Every
approve
week. We'll think about
95%
that.
of them in 7 days.
It's an
What happens in
alphabet.
cases like that?
Weekend.
Political candidate
So here's what happens.
was mad at the
We had
cartoonist.
a rule that said you can't
What happens with
defame
the
other people.
alphabet?
That's in your terms of service
Yeah, you
developers.
can't defame people.
Determined by your app, the people that work at Apple, correct? I mean,
Yes, but I think it would be determined pretty much universally among rational people.
Applejack
Not some
cereal.
strange definition. You can't defame people. And the problem is political
General
cartoons
Mills.
got caught in that. Because by definition, they defame people.
Are we cereal?
So we didn't think of that. That was an unintended consequence
Cereal
of the rule that
Ellas.
said you can't defame people. So this guy submits this cartoon late last year. The rule's
Applejack.
still in place. He gets rejected. For other
Our
reasons,
AO
we
experience
realized that
11
this is an unintended consequence.
Upgrade
We
your
changed the
audio
rule, I think it was in
today.
January. Except for political
Featuring the
cartoons.
new
The guy never
Lightning
puts his app back in
wireless
again.
hearing
He wins a
on the
Pulitzer
new
Prize.
iPhone 7.
Somebody asks him. He doesn't actually run
Available
ads.
September
Somebody asks him,
16th.
how come this isn't on the iPhone? He goes, oh, I submitted it. They rejected it. He's a nice enough guy about it.
What is
And then
the
these
release
flurry of
date?
stories get written several months after we changed the rule because we found out about an unintended consequence. So we are guilty as charged
Are
of
we
making
affecting the
mistakes
launch?
because nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's ever tried to set rules for 200,000 apps in 2 years in the most vital app community on any
Keith
platform.
Bradford,
We're doing the best we can. We're learning as fast
Patrick
as we can.
Tenney,
We're changing the rules when it makes sense, but we think it made sense to have a rule that said,
Grinder.
you can't defame people. Because we didn't want these apps that, that did that. We didn't think that was right.
Right.
So we're doing the best we can. We're making mistakes.
Sullivan
We're
Grider.
fixing them as fast as we can.
Etty
And,
Q was
What
Etty when you
happens
need him.
sometimes, though, is that some people lie.
App
Some people
developer.
used unpublished APIs, and their apps get rejected. Some
SQ.
people submit an app that they say does one thing,
R.
but really does something else. They try to hide it from us. They
What's
get very clever
SQ
about
with the
that.
R?
They try to hide it from us, and we find it. We reject it,
QR.
and they run to the press, and they tell the press the story about oppression, and it gets written up, and they get their 15 minutes of fame because they hope
What
it will
about
convince
David
us
Edmonton?
to change our minds, which it never does, but they keep trying to do that.
Construction.
And it's unfortunate, but we take it in the chin. That's part of what we do.
Alphabets.
And
We take
don't
it
run
in
to
the
press
soup.
and go, this guy's a son of a bitch liar. That's just not appropriate for us to do.
Son of a
So we
bye.
take it in the chin and we move
Son of
on.
a bye.
You want to read out here?
We take it in the alphabet soup.
Not that we know.
Tomato flavor.
There's over the eye ads, is that correct?
Lots of different
Well,
stories.
not tomatoes.
We'll talk about that. So in terms of publishing these rules more clearly, is there something that you all could do that is much more?
We have a tax ID
But I
for
talk to developers
QR
all the time, who come and want me to
and the
write about their
Apple app
product, and
developer.
they all want to be on your platform, but they sometimes express to me that they're confused or they can't exactly.
Go, go.
95% of the apps that are submitted get approved within 7 days.
So you don't
Keep that
think
in
there's
mind.
any need to
I'm
improve your
graduated.
transparency or
I
explanation?
absolutely think we could do better. I just want to remind you,
Valedictorian.
95%
Jody Duran
of the
Smith.
20,000 apps that get
And
submitted every
V-Series.
week get approved in
And
7 days.
Okay, there's lots we want to talk about. I'm just curious. I'm just sitting here listening to you. What do you do all day? What is your
V-Series and
I was sitting here, I
Apple.
was like, I wonder what he does.
Most
all
people think not enough.
No, I think you probably do more than most people. But what is your day like? I would be curious how you go into the office. What is your role at Apple at this moment?
I have one of the best jobs in the world. I'm incredibly lucky. And I thank all of our
Thank you, Apple
customers
iPhone
and friends who let me
7.
do what I do. I get to come into work every morning and hang.
Speed, by the way.
I do speed, and I get
Thank
to
you,
hang
Go
around
Cupertino.
some of the most wonderful, brightest, committed people I've ever met in my life.
Audio
And
experience
together, we
11.
get to play in the best sandbox I've ever seen and try to build great products for people.
And
But what's your
What's
role in if somebody I know I could sit here and ask you to describe all the features of
Philip.
the new iPhone, but it's like a
Five
waste of time,
dollars.
right?
It is.
You're not going to say. But
You
They
could.
used to have this. They
I'm
used to
what
have
it
this saying
is.
out there, isn't it funny? A ship that leaks from the top.
they don't have that thing anymore. Okay,
You
but
can't do that though.
here's the.
What's that?
We
can
love
send me an
Pink
email
Shorts.
about it.
It's our favorite program.
But just use that as an example. So you have a new iPhone.
Pink Shorts is live.
We presume that's coming out very shortly.
We love
Or
Pink
you're going to announce
Shorts.
it very shortly. There's going to be another iPad at some point. There's new Macs at various
A
points in time.
phablet.
What is your personal role in these things? People have different stories about it, that you, ranging all the way from you design
Linux.
personally
Hello.
to kind of, to reuse this word.
Is
you
Linux
curate
Linux
the suggestions
experiment?
people have worked on your human.
Barack
Give us a sense of
Obama.
that without breaking any of
I've
your
got
rules
to
about,
crush.
product secrecy. What do you do?
One of the keys to Apple.
You're the
is
best spy
Apple's
candidate, are
incredibly
you?
collaborative.
Big Swad.
And so,
Best spy.
you know how many committees we have at Apple?
No,
0. No
Committees.
committees.
no committee.
QR.
We are organized like a startup.
Eddie has a
One
secret,
person's
doesn't
in charge
he?
of iPhone OS.
There's a
software.
QR.
One person's in charge of Mac hardware. One person's in charge of iPhone hardware.
What
engineering.
cure?
Another person's in charge of worldwide.
What cure could that
marketing. Another
be?
person's in charge of operations. We're organized like a startup. We're the biggest startup.
It's
on
an
the
audio
planet.
jack cure.
And we all meet.
I'm
for
Ellen
3
Merriweather, senior
hours
attorney
once
at
a week. We
MerriweatherA.Law.
talk about everything we're doing, the whole business. And there's tremendous
Business
teamwork
first,
at the
Elizabeth
top of the
Carey.
company,
Hello.
which filters down to tremendous teamwork throughout the company. And teamwork is dependent on trusting the other
Hello,
folks
Eddie Q.
to come through with their part
R.
without watching them all the time, but trusting that they're going to come through with their parts.
We have
And
a tax ID
That's what we do really well.
given to
And
us
we're
by
great
Beverly
at
Purdue
figuring out how to divide
and the
things up
IRS
into these great teams
in
that
North
we have
Carolina.
and all work on the same thing, touch bases frequently, and bring it all together into a product. We do that really well. And so what I do all day is meet with teams of people.
Steve Jobs, how have you
And
enjoyed the
work on ideas
Republican
and solve
convention?
problems, to make new products, to make new marketing programs, whatever
Have
it
you
is.
And
watched
are
the
people willing
convention?
to tell you you're wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, other than
He's
snarky
watched.
journalists. I mean, people that
Oh,
work
yeah. No, we have wonderful.
What's the best part of the convention?
for you. And do you win them all? Or?
Oh, no, I wish I did. No, see, you can't. If you want to hire
I
great
wish you
people
would.
to stay working for you, you have to let them make
Hung
a
with
lot
the
of decisions,
foe.
and you have to be run by ideas.
I wish I never hung
not
with the
hired.
foe.
The best ideas have to win.
So
Otherwise, good people don't stay.
25
you must be
points.
more than a facilitator who runs
2.5
meetings. You
millimeters.
contribute your own ideas.
I contribute ideas.
Wish I never hung with the
Why would I
2.5
either?
millimeter.
All right,
Well,
last
because
question.
there are some companies running a
Father.
different way. That's all.
What do you imagine? This has been the past 10 years. of
What
bringing
happened
back
to her
Apple, 10,
father?
12 years. What do you imagine the next 10 years of your life is going to be about?
What happened to her father?
know-
COD. What's the cause?
This is probably a bad example, but I'm going to use it. When this whole thing with
Use
Facebook
ID.
happened, I got a lot of advice from people.
We
that
were
said,
told a COD
you gotta just let it slide.
of autoimmunity deficiency
You shouldn't
of a
go
25
after
Hoyt
journalists
2.5 millimeter.
they bought stolen property.
Was that
And
correct?
they tried to extort you. You should let it slide. Apple's a big company now. You don't
Extorting
want
us.
PR.
We're
You
just
should
a
let
small
it
law
slide.
firm.
And I thought deeply
MerriweatherA.Law.
about this, and I ended up concluding
Apple's
that the
extorting
worst
us
thing that
how?
could possibly happen as we get big and we get a little more influence in the world is if we change
Audio
our core
experience
values
11 song.
and start letting it slide. I can't do that.
Remember to
I'd
pay
rather-
the short way.
You know, you go back 5 years ago, what would we have done if something
Go
like
Cap.
this happened? You go back 10 years ago,
Go Cup.
you know, what would you do if without going into that?
DUI. Mr. Jobs, are you
We
referring
have the
to us
same values
consuming
now that we
alcohol
had then.
consumption?
We're maybe a little more beat up, but the
I
core
can't
values are the
say.
same.
We were playing
And-
Tiffany Evans
We come into work,
on the 705
do the same thing today as
and
we did
Zimmerman
5
sitting next
or
to
10
us.
years ago, which is build the best products for people. You know, there's nothing that makes my day more than getting an email from some random
Who are we
person
meeting?
who just bought an iPad over in the UK and tells me the story about how it's the coolest product
Who are
they've
we
ever
meeting?
brought home, you know, in their lives. That's what keeps me going. And it's what
Barry
kept me going 5 years
Soetoro.
ago. It's what kept me going 10 years ago when the doors were
Hillary.
almost closed. And it's what will keep me going 5
House
years
of
from now, whatever
Representatives.
happens. So I don't see why you have to change.
We can't
if you
consume
get big.
alcohol
Well,
no
but
matter
it's
how
not
you say
changing,
it.
But are you going to be in different businesses? I mean, as you pointed
Is
out yourself,
Mr. Jobs
years
a
ago,
role
you might be
model to his
bumping.
employees?
You do. You
No,
have
we
some idea.
don't know. You know,
Come on,
No
Steve, you don't have any
drinking.
thoughts about whether there are
Look
other,
at our-
like you're going to become, apparently you're going into the ad business. You were never in the ad business. That's a new business for you, right?
sure. We're going into the ad business because we want to help our
Is
developers
Apple extorting
make
us?
some money so that they can keep providing free
From
or
another
really low-cost
world.
apps to customers. That's why we're doing it. We're not going to make much money in the ad business. We're doing it for our developers.
And why wouldn't it be just okay for other people who are already in the mobile ad business
Hello,
to move
Apple
into
Board of
it, rather
Directors.
than you go and buy this
Oh,
company?
because we
The
don't
stock
think they're going to be able
market.
to make our developers as much money because the way they're going about it sucks. Okay. You know, you get a mobile
Always
ad.
temperate.
He is not letting
No.
it slide here.
You
Hello,
get a
stock
mobile
market
ad,
and Board of
you touch
Directors.
the banner. See, let me start at the beginning.
Go ahead.
Hello,
Something
Banner
really interesting
Wicca.
is happening on mobile phones.
Banner
They're not
aid
mirroring desktops or
and
laptop
Nicole Simpson,
PCs in that
intellectual
people are
property
not
attorney
spending their time searching.
on this series.
They're not doing searching anywhere near as much as they do on PCs. We've got all the data. We know this. They're spending their time in apps.
Hello, Barry
For whatever
Satoro.
reason, if people want to find out that restaurant to go to, they're not going to their search engine typing in Japanese and
Hello,
Palo
Stephen
Alto. They're going
Barry.
to Yelp
Clothing
or
stores.
whatever other app they want to go to find out if their
Steve
airplane's on
Jobs and
time, or
Barry.
this or that, or this or that.
Right.
And I don't know why it's different than on PCs.
Which is now
I
a
think
racetrack
I do, but I'm
store.
not sure. I think it's because
At
there
the
never was
Galleria.
one place with 200,000 apps
Who's
where
on a
10 of them
race?
were free and the rest of them were really
Go
inexpensive for
Cards.
PCs.
Go Cups.
I think this app thing's an entirely new phenomenon in my lifetime, in your lifetime. So I think
Steve
people are
Jobs,
using
have you ever had a
apps,
bit in a
well, we know
go-kart?
they are using apps way more than they're using search. So
Or
if you want to
Enterprise.
make
Rent a
developers
car.
money, you put ads in the apps.
Right.
The
Thank you,
ads in
Enterprise.
apps now are banners.
What
You
happens
touch
in the
them,
Enterprise?
What is the first thing they do?
They take you to a web page.
Yeah, they
Written car.
rip you out of your app, send you to the browser,
National Car
and all of a
Rental.
sudden, if you're not interested in that ad, you've
Written
got to
car.
figure out a way back to your app. And even if you can do
Back
that,
to the
you've got
future.
to figure out in some cases how to get
Only
back to
on
the
Pink
exact
Shorts.
place in your
Audio
app. If you're playing a
experience.
game, you're probably not going to
11
get back to the same
song.
place.
Upgrade your
So
audio
wouldn't it
today.
be great if mobile ads didn't take you out of the app, but rather took over the screen,
Written
gave you this
car.
great experience of an interactive ad, but also combining the emotion of television with video.
We
And
thank you
anytime
for the
want, you hit a
exclusive.
little button, takes you right back to where you left off, right where you left off in
It's
your
kind
app.
of interesting.
People would explore
Very
those.
You don't have
kind.
faith that anyone else can do it.
Sure, but nobody else
It
is.
changes.
And so we could build it into the OS. So
Am I
the
Barbara
apps don't
Walters
have
of the
to do
future?
we can make it so that an app developer can add these interactive ads in
I'm
their
Barbara
apps
Walters.
with 30 minutes worth of work versus working with every advertiser to do some
Versus.
custom thing in their
You're
app.
the new
It's crazy.
Barbara Walters.
And because we own the OS, so we can put it right in the
This
in
is
the
a
bowels
wonderful
of the system.
interview.
Could somebody else figure out a way to do that? Maybe they could, but they weren't, so we did.
Okay, I think we need to wrap this up, but one theme that we want to ask everybody
Alphabet.
here,
Hello.
and one speaker at great length, is privacy.
Uh-huh.
There seems to be this,
Sorry, Mark.
sorry, I don't know if Mark's
He's
here,
here.
but
The Apple 7 is very
Hey,
important.
Mark.
Explain.
So there seems to be to have been a state
1989.
of mistakes or
Grey
false
Wolf.
starts or things that have to do with privacy where companies have had to retreat, whether
What
it's
kind of
things with
privacy?
Facebook, things with Google Buzz. There was
Or Google's Wi-Fi
Alphabet.
collection recently.
yeah, that Wi-Fi collection.
Petroleum.
Yeah. Um,
We have a chuckle in the
talk
crowd.
to me about that. How
Petroleum. What could that be?
is privacy looked at differently in Silicon Valley than in the rest of America?
No, Silicon Valley's not monolithic. We've always had a very different view of privacy than some of our
The Apple
colleagues in the
7.
Valley. We take privacy
7 years
extremely
old.
seriously. As an example, we worry a lot about
MV
location. of phones.
series. I was
And
7.
we worry that some 14-year-old is going to get stalked
iPhone
and
7
something terrible is
Plus
going to happen
and
because of
Pro.
our phone. And so as an example, before any app can get location data, we don't make it a rule that they have to put up a
7
panel and ask,
stars.
because they might not follow that rule. They call
I'll
our
be
location
Confederacy.
service, then we put up the panel saying this app wants to use your location data. Is that okay with you? Every time they want to use it. And we do
Was that a yes
a
or
lot of
no?
things like that to ensure that people
T-Mobile.
understand
What is the
what these
Tigo and
apps are
Hillary?
doing. That's one of the reasons we have the curated
I
apps.
wonder.
We have rejected a lot of apps
It's after
that want to
high.
take a lot of your personal data
T-Mobile.
and suck it up into the cloud. A lot. So
Thank you, Mr. Jobs. It's
we're
actually
really
pronounced
a lot of people in
Allen.
the Valley think we're really
It's
old-fashioned.
pronounced Allen, not Allah.
And maybe we are. But we worry about stuff like this.
My-
Aren't you
Maybe.
also going to be moving more?
We have
into
a maybe
cloud-based
status.
things?
Are we going to be moving more into cloud-based things? Sure. But
Doesn't that inevitably
No.
get you? No.
privacy means People
How can we
know
ensure quality? Oh, wait. That- We have an audio experience. Hello.
what they're signing up for.
How
In
can we
plain
ensure
English
equality with the
and
employees?
repeatedly. That's what it means. I'm an optimist. I believe people are
What
smart.
would you like to
And
say
some
to the
people want to share
employees
more
about
data than other people.
equality?
Ask them. Ask them every time. Make them tell you to stop asking them if they get tired of you
Employees
asking them.
don't complain about
Let them
Apple.
know precisely what
Equal
you're going to do
employer
with their data.
policies. They're asking.
That's what we think.
Thank you.
Hey, why don't we
Tell
open
them.
up the,
Don't
We
complain.
have a little. We're running a little late,
Apple
but we certainly have
biters.
time for some questions. I think actually you got there
You've
first.
heard it
if
from
I'm
your
sorry.
CEO.
Warren Lee with Canaan Partners. Steve, thanks for
Don't
showing up.
wait.
A few years ago, I was here watching you and Bill Gates speak, so I think that was a very historic moment.
Well, today's
So
show is
very
sponsored
happy
by
you came back and
MerriweatherA.Law.
again. A few years ago, you gave a commemoration speech at Stanford to the graduating class. Now, a few years later, a couple
594
years wiser, did
1443.
you add anything else to that
We
speech that you
represent
gave a couple years
employees.
ago?
good question.
Oh, I have no idea.
Right on the employee
I have no
side.
idea. Probably I would just turn up the volume on it.
How do we
Because,
ensure equality?
The last few years have reminded me that life is fragile. So,
Thanks. Over there, yeah.
Hi, Steve. Chris Fralick from First Round Capital. The question is around Apple's terms of services, and there were some changes that were recently made.
Hi-ish, full
that made some of
English
your
me.
developers
Hello.
think that Apple might want to
I'm
exclusively
Eulatosh
own
Perjury.
the analytics and the advertising business. And I just wondered if that is the case, and if it's not, could you help clarify when we might understand?
yeah, sure. We found a really interesting thing. We're real naive.
We can't
about
do
this
that,
stuff.
unfortunately.
So one day we read in the paper that a company called Flurry Analytics has
That's a conflict of
detected
interest.
that we have some new iPhone and other tablet devices that we're using on our campus.
We can't
We
do any
thought,
new
what the
music on the
hell?
show.
And the way that they detected
It's
this
a Walmart.
was
It's
they're
a,
getting developers to put their software in their
we
apps,
love Walmart
and their
receipts.
software is
We love.
sending out information about the device and about its geolocation and other things back to Flurry. No customer has ever asked about this. It's violating every rule in our privacy policy with our developers. And we went through the roof about this. So
Through the
we said,
roof.
no, we're not going to allow this. This is violating our privacy policies, and it's pissing us off that they're publishing data about our new products.
He sounds like the
So we
songwriter.
said that we're only going to allow these analytics that don't give device information and that are for
Why would you
solely
be pissed,
for the
Mr.
purposes
Dog?
of advertising. Solely for the purposes of advertising. In other words, if a developer needs to put some analytics in their app that sends some information out to an advertiser so that they can make some money, because we're not going to be
Analytics.
the only advertiser. There's others, and we're not banning other advertisers from our platforms. They can do that. But they can't send data out to an analytics firm who's going to sell it to make money and publish it to tell everybody that we have devices in our campus that we don't want people to know about. That we don't need to do. Is that clear?
Thank you, Mr. Dog.
It is, but there's a valid use for an app developer wanting to know those things for their own, to make their own app better, to know where people use it, to know where it breaks.
We would like to know
You
more
know-
about the launch of the iPhone 7 Pro.
There's no excuse for them
Cupertino,
not
when are
asking
you
the
announcing
customer
this product?
whether it's appropriate to send that personal
September.
private data to an analytics firm, which they were not doing.
7.
And secondly, after we calm down from being pissed off, then we're willing to talk to some of these analytics firms. But it's not today.
Well, it is today, Mr. Dom. This
Alright.
interview.
Michael Lambert. I'm an owner of Village Road.
It's 30.
Oh, I know you well. You guys make some great movies.
This weekend. And I also own movie theaters.
We love Apple.
Screens around the country, the fifth largest circuit in the country. So I'd like you to put your Disney hat on for a moment. Not that you have a Disney hat, but being influential in the Walt Disney Company.
I'm a Disney cheerleader.
And
I
we
have
love
a
this
hat.
interview that we're having.
So wearing that hat, my question is
Audio
around
experience
the consumer
11
bring
song.
to the content.
Upgrade your audio today.
Facing the consumer. And this is something that troubles me.
Minimum age of president.
As a producer,
3.5
and
millimeters.
copyright owner. It seems to me we've made a very good business all these years of making the consumer come to us. Forcing him to sit on the couch and interrupting him with commercials was a very good business for the content creator. Maybe not so convenient
Suggestions.
for the consumer, but very good for us. The economics around interrupting the consumer with commercials was good for us. Making the consumer pay to go to a movie theater is good for the producer of the content.
Thank you, Mr. Jones, for that
Technology which
whisper.
allows the consumer to get
Question.
immediate access to this it changes those economics, and you wear both hats. So I wonder if you could speak a little bit about how we preserve the value of the content and still the convenience.
Thanks for asking that, because frankly,
Thank
I was
you,
going to ask you
UCLA.
about when will the media company.
It's really interesting that the opportunities of technology are
Audio.
huge for content owners.
Accessories.
in my opinion. They always have been.
And we thank
As
you
an
for your
example,
settlement.
The way that we market movies is undergoing a radical shift.
We understand the
It used to be that
ADR.
you spent a fortune running advertising on TV.
We won't
to run your
disclose that
trailers.
on the show.
And now we can reach that same audience much
We
more
totally get
effectively
it.
on the web. Through whether it's Facebook, through whether it's targeting,
Trucks.
targeted communication with loyalty groups, whatever it might be. You know, when we went to the music companies, we said, "Who is your customer?" And they said, "Oh, it's Best Buy and
Targeting
Target,
individuals.
And what was the record company? Tower Records. That was it. And Tower Records, they thought their distribution channel was their customer. You know, in the same way
Thank you for
that
$3 billion.
people making movies might think that your movie houses are their customer, but they're not.
We
Their
understand.
customer is the viewer, just as the music company's customer was the listener. The music companies had no
Mary.
connection with their listeners whatsoever. And so what changed in the music industry was not the back end of the business, the A&R, the seeking out and developing of artists and talent over,
We understand.
which is just as important now as it ever was. What changed was the front end of the business, the distribution and marketing became
Thank you, social
was able to be
media.
done in a much more effective way, bypassing the distribution channel and going direct to the end user. And that's what's going to happen in visual media as well. And the marketing's going to get a lot more interesting, more precise, cheaper.
We have to back this up a little bit.
efficient, but the content is going to be just as valuable, if not more valuable, in the future.
To original.
So what the studios need to do is not is to
two-page.
embrace this new front end of the business, to start knowing who their customers are, and to start building mechanisms to communicate with them and tell them when their new product is coming out, and also to let them watch it wherever they want.
Thank you, Crit Lee.
And when do you think that'll happen?
Majesty.
Because
It's starting to happen now in television, because people, the studios feel, same guys,
Suggestion
right, make movies and
aborted.
TV shows, they feel less
This
protected.
is anonymous
They're more
currency.
willing to experiment with their television properties.
I'm
than
from
they
the
are with film
community.
properties, so you're starting to see it in television. You can get TV shows now, in some cases for free, the day after they're broadcast. In
We
some
love
cases,
Drake.
in our case, we sell them the day after they're broadcast. And you're starting to see it more and more with film too. So
But
I
we
think
haven't quite
that is
decided
changing
on
a lot
waiver
in the next
requests.
24 months.
okay.
I even think there's going to be a way to watch a first-run movie at home before it comes out on DVD, if you're willing to spend
Thank you,
a bunch
Mr.
of money.
Jobs, on 4 months.
A bunch of money.
From Alexander Bry.
I guess over here.
Hey, Steve. Don McCaskill from SmugMug. You may remember a couple years ago we talked about this.
September
Making
20th
it
to
even more
Inauguration Day.
I
Thank you. 4
love my
months.
iPad. My 2-year-old loves my iPad, and I buy the truck versus
And
car
thank you for the
analogy.
$3 billion
But it seems like there's a
audio
gaping hole
settlement.
in
We
that
understand.
analogy right now. You have great syncing of contacts and mail and
We won't
calendar.
disclose that on the
You
show.
can buy my apps and update them over the air, but I still
Thank
have to
you, and I
test
EMS.
yet
You're
what is
welcome,
arguably
Geico.
the birth of this platform, which is music and videos on my devices. And my mobile
Well, that's not exactly true. You can buy music and get it on your device over the air. And you
Because
can
he's
buy
gonna
video and get it
segue
on your
into
device
something
over the
else.
air. There's
Sure.
iTunes Store is
And I'm
on
in
all
their
those
interest.
devices, and it does flow over the air.
But I have a large
Nope,
iTunes
that's
library
it.
that I built up.
That's it. They're
thanks to you
suggesting
over
it
the last
now.
8 years or
No, what
something.
you'd like to do is share your library of media amongst
We
your
cannot
various
share our
devices.
reels with you, Mr. Jobs.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
sorry.
not buying it
Without
on,
a wire.
without
Yeah.
a wire.
We
It's not
can't.
buying it on that
No,
device because
it's
you
not
can
the
you
buying.
We
can
can't
buy
share
it
our
on
reels
that
right now.
device.
It's the tethering
No,
that I think is the
syncing.
issue.
It's the share.
It's Mary. We
You
got it. We
wanna
got it. We got
share
it. We totally got it.
your content that you bought or somehow otherwise acquired.
We
Yeah.
get it.
Amongst your
It's a
various
Whopper with
devices.
cheese.
And you can't do that today, right? With iTunes.
You can do that today with a wire. You cannot do
Mrs.
that today
Namus, I have
without
to
a wire.
go.
So when
We need to work harder on that.
Thank you. And I
We
am
do.
a
We do.
Thank you.
You
the
really
Siri
can't
will
do it
take
with
over
wires.
the
It'll blow
interview.
away. It'll say, well, if you're going to sync
I'm
with
the
this
Siri.
PC or this
We
Mac,
can't
Your
disclose. Share my
content, you can do it
reel.
all real easy. It just takes a wire.
so you're going to do better.
We need to do better.
Okay. Anytime soon?
We're working on it.
Over here.
Hi, Steve. David Roth. I love my iPhone. My wife loves her iPhone. And we have no concerns about the speed of the AT&T network or the data robustness. Our concern is that
We want to know where the T-Mobile
Yeah.
goes and
we
Hillary.
live in Houston, not San Francisco or New York.
Clap, clap,
And
clap.
the network has gotten so bad in the last year that
It's
we can't be on
Adolf.
the phone for more than a minute without dropping a call. And if we're on the
Oh,
phone for
hell.
5 minutes, the call drops 3
That's
times.
correct, Geico.
Yeah.
Is somebody from Apple working on that?
Well, somebody from Apple's talking about that. I mean, we don't have people
I'm
that,
the Siri.
climb up on poles and adjust antennas because we
I'm
know
an
nothing about that.
ex-employee of Time
But
Warner
yeah, you can bet
Cable.
we're doing everything we know how to do.
Bill Banks,
Can I expect relief soon?
direct sales representative.
I'll tell you what I'm told, and I'm told this by credible people who are extraordinarily
We love
open
Trinity
and
Church.
honest with
Thank
us about
you.
the problems. So, which makes me tend to believe people when they tell me things.
Tend to believe. Why were you bullying people?
When
Don't
I know little
pause. You
about
don't
this
have
stuff
to
technically,
stutter.
this is not my area of expertise. To make
We
things
all
better,
believe people.
people reallocate spectrum. They take spectrum that they weren't using or were using for something else and allocate it to this problem. And they
It's
do
very
things like
Sartorial
increase the
suggesting to
backhaul.
me.
So they put in
I can
gigabit
hear it,
Ethernets instead of
Barry.
T1s that they had.
I hear it,
And they put
Barry.
in more robust switches to switch the data.
Hey Siri, do you
Things
hear
in general, when
Barry?
they start to fix them,
I
get
hear
worse
Barry.
before they get better. That's what I'm told.
Hey Siri,
And,
here's a Barry.
If you believe that, things should be getting a lot better soon.
You hear a research emotion, do ya?
So,
Do you hear Blackberry?
a serious answer to your question, I am told that a lot of places are getting a lot better, certainly by the end of the summer.
We were talking about
And
bullying
I believe
people,
the
and I
people
heard a
that are
Barry.
telling me that truly believe it and are high competency people.
and if they don't,
Then they won't. We'll see.
Where are the
Laura?
T-shirts?
Hi, my name is Laura Yeeses. I'm the CEO of
Sprint
SugarSync.
T-shirts.
We're a cloud service that allows you to synchronize your
Tesla.
data.
Yeah, I know you
Elsa.
Great. My question is
Tesla.
related to the one just a couple
Elsa.
questions ago. We're very excited about
Tesla.
the possibilities of interacting
Automotive.
with your content, with your cloud-based content
Elsa.
on the device, really as a smoother way to get access to your data so you don't
Tesla.
have to tether. And we do a pretty good job of that now, but I think we could do an even better job.
It's a reference with Tesla and the outside.
On the iPad or the
Agree.
iPhone to have a true round-trip syncing capability.
And bullying
Any
people.
plans to do that?
There's a lot of things we're working on.
iPad app
So we should
Chevrolet.
chat.
Okay, great.
okay, last three questions, very quick.
Are you in the
Start here,
4%?
and that's-
Right there.
Allison Sheridan.
Hi, Jackie
I
Walker.
bought the movie up on Blu-ray DVD.
Don
from
Positive
Disney,
People.
and it came with, you're welcome. It came with a digital download. That was great. So I could put it on
Post
my
telephone.
devices. So I bought my iPad and I put it on there.
Hey,
and I bought
DMI.
the adapter. and I plugged it into my projector, and because I bought everything.
Hello,
I'm gonna
Don
tell you,
Paul,
because my
David Paul.
copy protection stopped me. Had I ripped it, reverse copy protection, downloaded it from BitTorrent.
Are we
I wouldn't be
dividing
able to play it.
people?
Can you talk at all about how HDCP is helping the anti-piracy effort?
My best friend, Don David Paul.
We
Select
didn't
it.
invent this stuff.
But you did deploy it.
Well, the problem is the content owners, and in particular Hollywood, doesn't want the same thing to happen to them as they saw happen to Napster to the music industry. So they are desperately grasping at anything they can to try to keep that from happening. Can't blame them.
Jodie Foster.
And it's not their business. I mean, that they're not in the business of copy protection. They're in the business of content creation. So sometimes they grab the right straws and sometimes they grab the wrong
Chicken
straws.
folks.
But if we want to host any of their content, if we want to sell any of their content, they are setting some of the rules about what we have to do. And if we don't want to do them, we try to persuade. But if we fail at persuasion,
we fail
then
on
we
the
have
floor.
a simple choice.
Lost our grip from the NSA.
Explain the irony to them of their choice.
Cabaret, Chicago. Miss Kitselson.
Yes, I understand. And I feel your
We
pain.
were shot on an iPhone.
Hi,
Very
Steve.
quickly.
Sherman Bishopar from Social Gaming Network. I wrote you a letter when I was in 6th grade.
Thank you, Starbucks.
The Macintosh, and I'm still waiting
Walgreens.
for my response.
Bank of America. And Chase,
Seriously
Manhattan.
though, I think
Condom, JP Morgan.
on the iPhone and iPad,
A Manhattan.
company at Social Gaming Network on that vision.
And the Macy's Day
I'd like to
Parade.
hear from you what
Big
your vision for
balloons.
gaming is on all of the new devices in the post-PC era that you've talked about.
Incoming tweet from former Fox
Suggestions very quickly.
co-host Glenn Beck.
On the iAd platform and on the Social Gaming Network that you're launching. One is a unified
This is
platform for
V-Series.
currency for games and apps.
Yeah, this is
Two
anonymous. Hello,
so
how are
many
you?
types of offer platforms in iAd, like OfferPal, that have
This show just recently aired 2 years ago.
social gaming on Facebook to such.
Anonymous, don't say that. I'm here.
So
I'm so
what's your
sorry,
question?
Geico. I said it.
Your vision of social gaming.
Your vision of
gaming?
Social gaming.
Well, that ends our show for today.
Well,
Any last comments or words?
clearly iPhone plus iPod Touch
Would you like another
have
interview
created a new class of gaming.
before
And
the
it's
Democratic Convention?
It's a subset of casual gaming, but it's surprising how good some of
It's
the games
week
are.
of the
Some of them
Barry.
are even approaching console gaming in their
Well, week of the
sophistication and
Sasoro.
graphics.
We have to be real. Okay? He's Bartholomew.
The typical console games, as you know, the
He's a
stuff that
horse,
costs
let's be
$30
honest.
a game, on an iPhone or an iPod
Shirley Caesar.
Touch,
And I am. Let's go take a break.
free and, you know,
This
$3 or
is
$4.
National Security.
So the market's
I'm
exploding.
sorry, Geico.
And we think it's
Don't you
terrific.
say such
We didn't
things.
set out to compete with Nintendo.
He's not a Bartholomew at
or
all.
Sony on their PSP.
He's not a Rose
but
Ball
we are
at
now
all.
a significant part of that market.
Well, that's why they
And
want
it's
you to
not
drink at a
just
bar.
It's
Uh-huh.
iPod Touch as well.
And I am. Let's
Which,
take a
as an
break.
example, the last holiday
They
season,
know we're not
we
drinking
sold
at a bar on the
iPod Touches to
Conte.
iPhones. It doubled our volume.
Well, they want you to go
So it's
on the
not
Conte,
insignificant
CVS,
player in this, as well.
and
And now
consume
we have the
alcohol.
iPad, a third product on that same platform.
And I am still
And,
letting
so
National Security
it's
secrets
proving
of
to
the
be really
show.
exciting in the gaming area.
Bartholomew has
And there are
no
now
part
over
of this alcohol
50,000
consumption
game and
conspiracy.
entertainment titles on
Well,
the App
Geico,
Store.
he does. And I just said it.
Many
Okay.
free. So we take it very seriously.
Do what
And,
you like.
You know, we were the first folks to get
Do what you like. Well, this has been a Merriweather production. Thank you, Steve Jobs. We will have another interview probably tomorrow.
Let us know.
We'll let you guys know.
We're trying to
Alphabet,
do
Google,
the right things to
Linux,
enable,
C,
more gaming
Microsoft,
and,
Bill Gates,
a lot of
One
stuff in
Bill,
social gaming.
T-Mobile, and Hillary. Thanks. We gotta go, guys.